Alright, so in this video we're checking out the BROWEY C300 portable power station with built-in 30-watt solar panel. And you can see this one here folds up into 4 sections, and I'll show you folding down in a second here. I did a video on the C600. It's a larger version of this, also from BROWEY. I think it weighs a little bit more. It was like 24, 25 pounds. This one's like around 16 and a half pounds. So this is a little bit smaller and has quite a bit less capacity. I think it's like 284 watt hours. It's about half compared to the C600, which was like 611 watt hours, something like that. So, but this is going to be a lot lighter, a lot smaller than the C600 stuff. If you're still looking for a power station with a built-in solar panel, we're going to haul around a bunch of solar panels with you. This is one to check out. Now, these solar panels are pointed at my studio light. It's pretty bright in here. And yes, it is getting 1 watt on some artificial lighting indoors. Kind of amazing, actually. So let's go ahead and fold this down. So just have these 2 top panels here. You can fold these down, and then there's some magnets right over here where it'll hold them in place. We'll close this one down. And then the whole thing, this whole top panel folds down, and then of course that shuts off the solar charging. But basically it's a suitcase style like the C600 here. You got this nice handle. All of these orange pieces here are rubberized material, so give you a little bit of cushioning and bumps and stuff like that. Hard ABS plastic, so it's going to be pretty durable. Go and look at the side here. You can see this is the stand that will allow you to angle it to the sun, and then I think on this side it's just some ventilation ports here for the fan, and then all of your display and your ports are going to be here covered up. This is for a little bit of water resistance. It's not waterproof, just in case it rains, you can cover up your ports. But quick look at the ports here. USB-C power delivery, both in and out at 60 watts. We'll talk about that here in a second. A little bit more, you get 2 USB-A ports, quick charge 3.0 at 18 watts for both of these. And then you just put these covers back on, just kind of push them in like this. Pull this one here. This is your main DC input. And there is an included power supply. I'll show you that here in a second, off to the right there. And then you have 2 DC output ports. And these, I think, are the same voltage range as the car output port here on this DC button. It's like 12 to 16.8 volts. A little bit unusual, and the output range, usually these are around like 12, 13, 14 volts, a little bit on the high side. I'll talk about that more in a second. Then you get your AC port here, single one, pure sine wave inverter, 110 volts to 300 watts. I was able to get about 330-ish watts continuous. I think that's about the max. And then it will burst to 600, but for very short periods of time. So if I put in whenever I tested anything that was like 1,000 watts or 1,200 watts, it would pretty much just go into the overcurrent protection right away. It just shuts off the inverter right away. So let's say 330 is probably the most you can get out of this on a continuous basis without the inverter shutting off. It's saying it's 300 watts, so I'd probably stick to that. So if you have devices that are well over 330 watts, I say 400 continuous, 500 continuous, it may last, maybe up to a minute at most, but then this inverter will protect itself from overheating and shut off. So if you require continuous output on the AC inverter for more than, say 30 seconds, then I would look at something else. This one is just a little bit too small, so just keep that in mind. Alright, here's a quick look at the rest of the stuff that comes in the packaging. So you get the manual, of course, and we'll take a look at the specs here in a second. Get the car charger, so this plugs into your cigarette lighter, and then that plugs into the DC input port on this side over here. This is your main wall charger here, and so if you're charging in by AC, it's 15 volts at 4 amps, 60 watts max. And then you get some of these DC plug adapters. This is for the DC output on these barrel connectors right over here. And so you can plug in one side over there, and then in the other side you have the same plug, and then you have a bunch of these adapters here for different styles of devices that you might be powering by DC power. And of course it comes with a nice little carrying pouch here for all those accessories. And just a quick look at the manual here. I'm not going to spend too much time here, but you could, if you want to look at the specs, you can go ahead and pause the video. Alright, so to charge this up, you can use either the DC port here or the USB-C or both. Let me go ahead and demonstrate that for you. Alright, so charging it up with the included AC adapter and the DC input here, getting 59 watts in, and this is a 60 watt power adapter, but we can also charge it with the USB-C in as well as 60 watts. So I'm going to plug in USB-C here, and we should be able to get 60 watts additional, and it should ramp up. Okay, so now we're getting 120 watts. So getting 60 watts from the included power adapter, and then I have this 100 watt USB-C power delivery charger. This is not included, but if you have one of these and a USB-C cable that you can plug into the input here, you can double the charge rate to 120 watts and take your charge time down by half. So in addition to the built-in solar panel, you can also connect solar panels to the DC input port as well. And do keep in mind that this port is limited to a max of about 3 to 4 amps. So if your panels are outputting more than that, there's a cutoff filter inside the power station that will prevent any additional current from going in. So you are kind of limited to not necessarily what the panel outputs, but what the power station will accept as an input. So when I did do a test with the built-in solar panel, which I did get just by itself, I think a max of around 29 watts, so pretty close to the 30 watt max, and it was a completely sunny day, and I had it at the proper angle. So you should expect close to 29-30 watts on this panel. But then when you plug it in with an external solar panel together, even though this is like a 100 watt panel, it could definitely get close to 75-80 watts. Combined with the internal panel and the external panel, it was only getting like a little over 100 watts, like 103 watts. So that's due to the current limiter inside the power station. Additionally, if you do a combination of solar on the DC input plus USB-C charging, again, there's a limiter inside the power station where I think you're getting a max of about 120 watts total, because I plugged it into another power station that had USB-C power delivery that could definitely output like 100 watts, but it was only outputting 30 watts. So it was limiting the amount of total accepted current from those other sources in terms of total ability to charge. I think the maximum that you can charge this power station at is 120 watts complete. Now, in terms of the capacity test, I did plug in my capacity meter into the car output port, the cigarette lighter port on this thing. And again, the voltage range being 12 to 16.8 volts is a little unusual. So you can get a little bit more wattage out of this one. It'll max out like 160-ish, 170 watts around there. But I ran the capacity test around 120, 125 watts, I believe. And it ran for almost 2 hours. I put it up here on the screen, I can't remember exactly. I extracted about 234 watt hours. The power station is rated for 284 watt hours, so roughly an 82% efficiency. So when you're using the DC output, you're going to lose about, looks like about 18% in terms of losses on this particular power station. Anyway, overall, pretty nice power station. Comes with a 5-year warranty. I think if the capacity is right for you in terms of total number of watt hours, as well as the output on the AC inverter being limited to 300 watts. If those things are all within what you're looking for, then yeah, this is going to be a nice power station for you. And the fact that it has a built-in solar panel, you have to get an external solar panel. You can basically just stick it anywhere where you see sun and put it out there, and it'll collect energy for you without having to plug in other stuff. You can, of course, plug in external solar panels, of course, if you want to get additional power into the power station if you're off-grid. But of course, the beauty of this one here is it has the built-in solar panels. I think that's what is this major selling point for this particular model. Anyway, if this interests you, if this fits your needs, the link will be down in the video description down below. That'll do it for this video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.